So I'm walking around the beautiful little town, depending on your definition of little. For me, it's a big town, of Morton, Illinois. I'm here for the Rural Home Missionary Association's Town and Country Training classes, the first one of them, on ministering in a town and country context. And I just wanted to share a little bit of what I've been learning. Haven't had a lot of time to write since we've been here. So I'm just going to vlog since I haven't done that in a coon's age. The main thrust of the class has been learning to think like a missionary as you pastor in a rural town and country context. Populations of less than 5,000. The definition of rural is pretty flexible. The government has, I think it's close to 24 different definitions of what actually rural means. So none of that's hard and fast. But a lot of the class has been just like trying to understand rural people and places and to contextualize ministry and our approach to ministry in such a way that it actually connects and not try to be suburban or urban ministers in a town and country context. And one of the things that's just driven home to me is how ministry always has to be missionary. Ministry by its very nature has to contextualize to where it's taking place. And that's something that if you read the New Testament with those eyes, seems pretty obvious is being done. But it's not how we normally think as human beings. We're always thinking about how to make ourselves most comfortable, most at home. And that's natural because we were created to be at home in creation. You know, God put Adam and Eve in the garden. And so being at home is a right longing, a right desire. And I don't even think it's wrong for most Christians to want to be at home where they are. But when you're tasked with shepherding and leading, part of what you have to do is be willing to lay aside that part of your brain in some sense. And to always be thinking about where the other person is at and how to most effectively communicate your message and minister to them in such a way that they understand. That there's a responsibility of love there that's true for all Christians, but I think especially as those who minister the gospel, we've got an extra duty to be thinking in that sort of missionary mindset. I've got a lot more thoughts about this that I probably will try to work through in writing sometime, but I just think that kernel is probably worth sharing on its own, that to minister is to embrace a missionary mindset, whether you're going to the next town over or the next state over or across the world. And it looks different. Like somebody who's crossing language barriers and going into way different cultures is going to have a harder time of that. They've got a tougher road to hoe in front of them, I think. But it probably is also easier for them to remember, you know? And so as somebody who's in the same country that I've always been, speaking the same language that I've always spoken, it's easy for me to just slip into, this is my home, how do I make myself comfortable, rather than this is the field that God has put me in, how do I minister effectively? So anyway, just some thoughts on a Friday morning.